Start streaming. And the audio is there too. Beautiful. Okay. That was, we had some technical trouble getting started. Oh, don't we always? Don't we always? But we are here now. Which means that we gotta post. We gotta post on the Socials that we're live and ready to go. Twitch.tv/Clemency Live. That's me. And we're composing. Composers of co-host. Posting on cohost.org. Ka-ching, ka-chow. Akit's here. Hey, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Faded golds and brilliant reds. Yeah, this is a cool piece, huh? So very autumn. Even wintry. We got a bit of snow on the ground, it looks like. How you doing out there today? Early morning there. You are just all the way across the world. Here it is about 5 p.m. We've got a little organ. You can't see. That's me improvising, by the way. But we'll be working with the organ as we sketch out ideas for this track. Who looks at a building and says we can make music with that? Oh man, that's very cool. It's wild. I don't remember much of my organ history. This was something that I learned about once upon a time. I know that we sort of started out with something called a psaltery. Psaltery. Nope, that's a different thing. What was the original organ called? If it's not a psaltery, it's the other thing. See, this is all distant music history class memories. Notre Dame is getting restored to full functionality. That's wonderful to hear. Syrinx? I only know Syrinx as the Debussy flute piece. I hope I don't have to go get my old textbook. We can Google real quick. Precursor to organ. Triangle's here. Hello. And the bellows organ. Apparently there was a Greek thing called the hydraulis. We're talking about the history of the pipe organ. Triangle. Syrinx or panpipes. Thank you, Acute. Known to Greek and Hebrew cultures, yes. Most want to accomplish more. So, to place several existing wind instruments of different sizes above a chamber containing air under pressure that was generated by simple hand-operated pumps and controlled by the weight of water, and to control access to the individual wind instruments through a simple system of keys and valves to admit the air. This machine eventually developed into the musical instrument we now know as the pipe organ. All instruments that bear the name have the same 4 basic characteristics found in the hydraulis of Ctesibios. So here's it. So a Greek engineer in 3rd century BCE, Alexandria, came up with the idea for the organ. That's way earlier than I thought. That's way early. So the development of the organ has basically, since then, according to this article, I will drop this in the chat, from the Organ Historical Society. Seems like a good place to get your information. So after that we've got bellows organ, because after that it becomes all about finding different ways to keep up the air pressure, right? So the hydraulis of Ctesibios used the weight of water to generate the air pressure, and then later we've got like the bellows situation. I won't take the time right this second to look up when they started becoming part of buildings, but if you want to go seek out that information for us and find it, I would be very grateful. We got onto this triangle because we're using the organ to sketch out our ideas today. Okay. wouldn't it be helpful as we start off here? Let's actually get down to business to defeat the Huns. It would be helpful if I actually pulled up this image myself so I could start taking some personal notes. Wouldn't it be wild to use the hydraulics in modern musical arrangement? Yes. I mean, I'm sure. Like, composers love to make music about music history, so I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we'd come up with something. Or at the very least, like, various historical societies would have tried to recreate one and then maybe played some modern music on it. Okay, but now I actually, instead of all the different browser windows and stuff, I'm actually looking at this artwork with you. This art is by Lorenzo Lanfranconi. I have a link to them on ArtStation that in an application that I closed because of course I did. Let's reopen that. Here we go. Boop. Link to artwork. Little of both. Both for fun and for not a professional commitment per se, but one of the prominent composers on YouTube, Ryan Leach. Great channel, especially if you are interested in learning a lot of foundational stuff about composition. They run a composing competition over there every few months, and I just saw today that we're having one in October, and the challenge is to write a piece no more than 90 seconds in length, right? We're dealing with short bits here. We're inspired by this particular piece of artwork. Usually there's a visual component. So that's going to be due by Halloween, basically. And yeah, I'll probably have a few streaming sessions working with this piece, kind of as a way, like I'm in the thick of the production for Weird, the spooky ambient album right now, which you were here when I was just like doing sound selection. Now there's like a track done and I'm in the middle of another one, so we'll have a session. We'll have more sessions for those because I want to release that in like 2 weeks, so I need to get it done. But with all of my research into like what ambient music is and how to get into it, I've been itching to get a little bit back into my wheelhouse, which is the more academic sphere, more orchestral sphere. And this should be great fun. One of the first things I noticed about this piece, oh, you can't see my mouse cursor to gesture at all. I wonder if I might, nope, not you, do that, and then that, and then, no, never mind, we'll just keep it like this. So we've got this piece is called the Duj brothers, and we can see them running away on the bridge. They've got stuff on their backs, and then I almost missed him the first few minutes I was viewing this image. The pitchfork guy, yeah. You see, it's so interesting. Like you were drawn to him right away, and it took me a little while before I realized he was there when I was viewing this image. Different priorities, I guess. So this image is very much like, you know, Merry and Pippin are making off with Farmer Maggot's crop sort of situation. So I want whatever we make here today to be a little bit lighthearted, in the spirit of that kind of a moment. But we also have to communicate I really want to communicate this place and season. Right, we're in the beginning of autumn here right now. It's feeling very brisk where I'm living. We really want to draw out some of these colors. And for me, when it comes to seasonal feeling or literal color, I go immediately to the color of a tonal area, and to timbres. So I definitely want some strings in here. Strings are autumn to me. I think we need some winds in here probably, for some of the lightheartedness of these characters. The brass might not have a lot to say in this one because they're very warm and powerful, and this isn't necessarily going to have the power and warmth of the brass. This image doesn't necessarily. Fletcher Munson type beat. Man, you keep making these great references of people that I don't know. I've got to have so many tabs. I've been thinking ever since last time about those Vangelis albums you recommended to me that I have not yet gone for. Fletcher Munson. Well, the first thing that comes up on my search engine here is the Fletcher Munson curve. Contours of equal loudness to the human ear. Definition of loudness. I will have to look at that later. But in terms of tone color, autumn puts me in at least like 1 or 2 sharps. The D major 7, the B minor 7, that C sharp and that F sharp are the cornerstones of autumn to me. I was thinking about motives a little bit earlier. I was thinking about or is it sorry, some little Mixolydian. What am I identifying as some of the central aspects of the artwork? That's a great question. The perspective puts these characters very much in the environment, in the scene. This is a very environmental piece of art to me. These characters feel like they've got something going on, but that thing is happening in the context of like this entire scene. Because look at these dragonflies in the foreground, right? Like they're happening just as much as these brothers running across the bridge. So the central aspect to me is all of the just the feeling of the environment. Not even the bridge necessarily. Notice how the bridge is a muted, like that, this muted color like the rest of the rock, compared to all these beautiful greens and oranges. The blue of the dragonfly really pops, right? So there's a lot of emphasis on the nature of this scene. Speaking of scenes, I'm itching to actually write some motivic ideas. So let's transition. I'm seeing that the chat needs to be a little bit more visible. Maybe a little more. Maybe a little too contrasty right now. We could probably do this. That's fine. Yeah, the dragonfly is right. Yeah, the dragonfly feels like it's in focus a lot more than everything else. A vehicle for the audience's perspective. Man, you guys are so smart. You should be running the stream. Okay, let's get some shit on the page, as it were. Motivic ideas. I'm going to do what in the business I've begun to call a 5-3 exercise. I took this from the brilliant orchestrator and educator Thomas Goss, who you can find on YouTube at the channel Orchestration Online. I have yet to do a bunch of his challenges, but I've adapted his instructions from one video into a general principle that I call the 5-3 exercise. And the 5-3 exercise goes like this: if you have a musical purpose, right, something you're setting out to write for, write 5 motives that could potentially go with it, at least 5, and then pick the one that you like best and write 3 different versions of how to use it. This is sort of like shining a flashlight on the dark room of composition that we find ourselves navigating. As you draft all of these different ideas, you'll get a sense for like, okay, I kind of want something like this, but also like this. Maybe I could combine those somehow, or like, no, that's definitely not quite right. Is it something to do with that interval? Like, it gives you material for your brain to just start chewing on and problem solving and understanding what it's trying to go for once you have some stuff in front of you. So I'm gonna be doing a 5-3 here, and we want, what are some keywords? Autumn, right? Lighthearted. What else are we talking about? Maybe golden? It's not quite golden, it's more orangey. Seasons are akin to cycles. Chase. Yeah, definitely a chase element. And we've got 90 seconds to tell a little story, right? So we could sort of, take 30 to 45 seconds just to set the scene and then zoom into these characters a little bit, right? That's getting a little ahead of ourselves. We just want to generate some material right away. Autumn, lighthearted, golden, chase, brothers is a keyword, I guess, right? That belongs in here. What else? What else? We might have to do a separate thing just for leaves falling. Oh, of course. Yeah. The gentle, because like it's not it's sort of adjacent to rainfall in my mind, right? But it's the gentle leaf fall. Yeah. Falling, drifting. Okay, you know what that says to me, actually? And maybe we go back to here for a second so we see more of the page. the thing about drifting, I can't type drifting leaves, is they are carried by the wind. So there's this, there's something about wind happening in both like the wind instruments that I was interested in using to carry lightheartedness. They could also carry some of the briskness, but they could also carry a sense of motion, general motion. The wind is kind of a conductor of fall's orchestra. Beautifully said. Yeah, something like that. There's so there needs to, even if we don't use the literal winds to convey the motion of the piece, the motion of the piece should feel windy, I think, is where we're going here. Like the rhythmic motor should be kind of breezy, and we can feel ourselves, you know, carried on the wind, just like the leaves, or like our little dragonfly, or all these other things. Okay, so we want a windy, a breezy motive that drifting leaves. Okay, that's something that we can start with for certain. Oh boy, all that text is just going to be in my way, huh? So the first thing that I think of when I think of a breezy, drifty feeling, right? We're not even into tonality yet, or instrumentation, or notes even. Just like, how is time supposed to feel right now? We're thinking, I'm thinking anyway, like a 6/8 or a 9/8, you know, swishy swash, yada da dee da da yada da. Yada da dee da da ya. Actually, what's that tempo? So I have a device here. This is hashtag not sponsored. This is a Soundbrenner musician's smartwatch called a Core, Soundbrenner Core, and so I can tap in that tempo I was just feeling. That's between 60 and 61. And in general, I tend to pick tempi that are too slow. So we're gonna go dotted quarter equals 62. Let's just start there. Oh boy, I really have to move this text around someplace. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make all of this autumn, light-hearted, golden chase, brothers, gentle leaves drifting. I'm gonna make all that the subtitle of this document. Can we attach this down there instead, maybe? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, now we've got this information closer to the staff, which is important. Actually, we might even plop it down here. Wind is a force that alternates between moments of calm and activity. Could be an interesting thought to touch on. Yes. It's really important to give music life by having time breathe a little bit. But I that tends to take care of itself during the writing process. I don't generally, unless it's like big sectional stuff where I'm stitching two ideas together, I'll kind of like look at what I've written and then say, oh, okay, this needs to be a little bit slower here. This needs to speed up through here. And make those micro adjustments along the way. Between moments of common activity. Yeah. We still haven't written any motives, but we could actually, okay, let's just add in 16 bars. Here we're gonna write a few breezy motives. Down here, motivic ideas, a brisk chase, right? So mentioning how we had could possibly have a scene setting section and then a little storytelling section where we follow our little brothers on their adventure. We could do a whole different set of musical brainstorming down here. I use the word brisk because it applies to both pacing and the wind and temperature. So it's a great word to focus our attention. And like very lighthearted like that is kind of like it's about 138. Can you do dot equals 138? So maybe we'll mess with that at the same time. Okay. Good. We're gonna hit Control S and save save the document. Very important. Okay. Breezy mode. So now it's time to do our 5-3 exercise and get 5 motives out for each of these ideas. You may find yourself asking, what is a motive? And as I am using the term, a motive is one of the smallest musical units that is going to be recognizable as an object being having a little journey. Generally speaking, a motive is going to have a distinctive rhythm and a distinctive interval or intervallic character. Motives are sort of what melodies are spun out of. I'm not going to be trying to write a whole tune, five different tunes. I'm going to be writing 5 different motives that really capture the essence of this feeling, and then the 3 part of the 5-3 is picking our favorite motive and then spinning out 3 different melodies that motive could become. So really basic building blocks first and foremost. Still got an organ over here, so we can hear our ideas. A breezy motive like drifting leaves. So like D and we're free to change our mind at any moment. D da dum. Okay, that's 1. In your mind's eye, what kind of motion does a drifting leaf follow? Yeah, it's sort of like if you imagine a bowl. If you imagine a bowl, and the leaf is maybe like sort of sliding all around the rim of that bowl, right? That's the kind of path I imagine. One thing I'm paying attention to in my melodic writing lately, not that we have to dig into it immediately, and we can play this if we want to, is the sense that this one doesn't exactly go anywhere, right? It's we sort of target this note A twice, and we could craft this into something with a little more interest by having it land somewhere else. Right, because like we could have it go up here instead. That's something. But we're trying to rapid fire through 5 different motives. So this is an interesting little fragment. What's another one? Whatever that is. All of these are tending to be little 2-bar thingies so far. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a lot more room. Sort of, I want to, yeah. I'm thinking now. Now I'm thinking about tracing the path of that leaf. Oops, I did a weird. Okay, and then we'll dot this. And this is more of a quarter. So we got here. Something to that. Something to that. Next, maybe something even. What's the shortest we can possibly make a motive that still communicates this? Maybe just. This is kind of simple. It could just be that. We'll put it in. We'll put it in. something something like this. Yeah. This is nice by itself. Right? That's something for sure. Can you be longer, please? It's just a simple something. Be longer, please. Oh, it's because I was using the wrong key. So now this is something. It's a little simple, but it's something. All right, that's 4. That's 4. That's not breezy. That's not breezy enough. Maybe actually it's like maybe. Okay, the 5th thing. A breezy motive like drifting leaves. My tea, once hot, is now cold. How fast are we? You know what? I think this should be slower. Let's try 60. Maybe slower still. Yeah, that's more like 55. Little gentler. Little gentler. I'm using an organ, by the way, as a basic sound because it can sustain. It'll sustain the tone. If you use a piano bass sound in your writing, you're not going to hear the full length of this dotted quarter, for example, as a tone occupying that entire space and time. It'll diminish, and that's going to affect the way that you write and arrange. Okay. 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 There's something to that. Okay, now what else? What else? These are all diatonic. Let's try a chromatic line. No. little trite there. Also, that's a whole tune, not a motive. We'll just start with this. On the organ, it sounds a little carnival, that idea, but we'll deal with it. Let's separate these out. Oops, not there. Okay. So none of these are quite or all the way there yet. So it's time to look at what they have in common to sort of to understand a little more about what my brain is trying to get to. So nearly all of these have a descending contour, right? This one is the first one that goes all the way back up. All the rest of these target a descending motion. Here a stepwise. Here we actually cover a whole octave all the way down. Here a fourth down, and here another octave down. One, two, three, 4, 5. All 5 of these incorporate a little bit of an S curve. You can see here this down and back up. This up, down, rest, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Lots of down, up, downs. Little zigzags down. Points in common. And oh, does this? Yeah, that's why. Points in common. Descending contour. Wiggly down. Here and here, we have ideas that of leaning tones, right? Starting on a suspension. Da-da. Da-da. And then here we end up on a leaning tone. So something about that idea is something that I want. Let's try again. Let's try another one. I usually do this on paper. This is my first 5/3 that I'm doing directly into Dorico. It's a little unfamiliar, I think. Oh, here we go. Oops, not all quarters, please. And actually, let's just stop right there. This one we can actually go back to something like 60, I think. That's a little too slow. Okay. Now, okay, I like where this is. I like where this is going. We took some elements from all of our previous iterations, and now we've hit on something that I'm okay with developing a little bit further. Let's go ahead and mark any section here. Version 1. Oops. Go ahead and plug that in here. Okay. Okay. I don't want to get rid of my note. Please. There you go. Well. All right. Okay, in terms of strong melodic writing, this didn't go anywhere. It was compelling, right? But we didn't actually land somewhere different. We could go there right away. Right, and if we're in D, roughly, this is nice. We have a little turn there. It's a little surprise that we go down, but we can make it a restful surprise on, like a G major 7. Let's go ahead and route these so we get some chords. We could do this G major 7 here, actually. Interesting. Hmm. We want this to land on F sharp. Okay. Let's get rid of our harmony for right now. We're still working on this. This is something. Right, but I'd have like no, we don't have to we don't need to figure out the harmony right now. Down, 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 rest. Rest. And we can just bring it home for this initial sketch, right? Right, all of that. That's a version. This doesn't quite work, that leap. Right, and we could just do this. I kind of like, oops. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-da. Ba-da. Oh. Oh, maybe I need to do that, to move that, to do that. Oh. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, this doesn't work. You could do this. That might be enough to make this, to soften this leap that we had before and make that work. Make that work. Yeah, kind of a little bit freewheeling, but we're going wherever the wind is carrying us here. That's nice. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's 70. Somebody once advised me to accept if you're 70% satisfied, that is good enough to continue on. Because you can always come back and polish, refine. If you're at least that base level satisfied, but you shouldn't demand 90% satisfaction before doing anything else. It's not an efficient way to work. Let's add a billion more bars because we gotta write a whole nother version of that. Of that same nugget. We can do this. it's the same interval. That's something. Oh, that cross relation doesn't quite compel us as much as I thought it would. La da ya da da, dee da 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 da, ya da da, ya da da, ya da da, ya da da. If we're gonna communicate back with this, ya da da. Ya-da-da, ba, ba, ba. We can do that. La, ya, da, 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 ya, da, 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 ya, da. That's something. We have this A twice. We could probably get a little more interest out of this. I like where that's going. Oops. We'll sort the whole bar, the whole beam. Okay. Oh, right, and this is, of course, 3 versions of F. Version 2. Making good progress. Thank you. I feel like we're landing somewhere with this one, especially this version. Well, it's a little more jagged, actually, than this. This one feels like this could be slower. Again. Long. You know what that is doing? This, like, right here, this is a fun little reference. Anybody recognize that? Sort of a subconscious reference that I just made. If it takes forever, I will wait for you for 1,000 summers. I will wait for you. Anybody know that tune? From the Umbrellas of Cherbourg, originally, I believe. A Parapluie de Cherbourg. Okay, what is this one doing? I really like this back half. That's really nice, I think. Something in here wasn't quite doing it. Honestly, this suspension could go back down here. That we're not going too far outside the general range, right? This is already going to span an octave and a fourth, right? Including that D. Of course, if we do this downward suspension, this tritone leap doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, what do we like better? Do we like this suspension better, or do we like going down from here? Well, here, okay, we've got Guide tones. Guide tones. People. We could do this. No, that's not it. This has a little too much floating in the air. The rest of this has motion. We inject a little bit of time here. That's this can't, the B can't be the peak of the phrase twice. Yeah, we need to go up if we're going to make going down in steps go make sense. Whoa. Accidentally made that top of the screen. Well, I mean, okay, let's just keep it the way it was. Okay, and could we spice up this rhythm at all? Well, I mean, it's in conversation with this first one. Maybe part of it is that we're starting in the same place both times. We need to drift. We need to drift all the way down. Yeah, we're sort of tracing out here. So the thing that would make the most sense is to go from D to G in this bar. No. No. That does the job a little bit. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, I think it's because we're starting on the same place both times. Okay, well, if we start on D, okay, maybe. That has, okay, this has more continuity. Let's go ahead and remove this bar so we can hear it all three. It still needs to breathe in there, but let's use this contiguous version to figure out where. Let's make this leap a little more gentle. Maybe like that. There's something happening in the background here that's a little bit autumn leaves. How's it go? There's something to that. we could hang out on this for a while. We could do this. Oops. Inject a little life in there. Get out of that. Straight ahead. Okay. Better. Something's still wrong with the front, but strictly speaking, we still have to do a third version of this to count toward our whole homework. Let's go ahead and lean on this. And we'll go off book here. No, not quite, not quite. Oh, that should be. Oops. No. Okay. Bum. Bum. Be da 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 ba ba da yeah, something's not right. No, that's a little. That's awkward. That's much too awkward. You just stay up there. Nothing wrong with that, I don't think. That's a little samey. Now, how did we solve that problem before? By not. Yeah, we can't lean on that note twice. Better, but still samey. That's kind of staying in the same place too much. Da da da. Da 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 ba da. No. Da 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 da. Okay, what's working about this, and how can I inject it into the first half? Okay, that at least solved the immediate problem. There's still something not quite right here. I could just do that. And we could dot that one instead. What did I do? Uh-oh. Oh yeah, we made that not long enough. Okay. Maybe. That's at 70% though. Of these, I think version 2 is the best. Anybody still out there to listen and compare with me? Oh, it's 6:40 already. I gotta shut this down and get some dinner soon. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Lots going on with that. Okay, some elements of all three of these are good. 2 is the best. Version 2 is the best standalone. There were some elements here that we could probably incorporate into another one, but did we let's create a system break here and a system break here. So we can sort of see all these together. Can we make you into one system? Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Move to previous. good. Okay, great. Yes. Okay, so now I've got all our ideas on different systems visually. Let's go ahead and hide signposts. Boy, there's a lot of work to get to the initial nugget of our melodic idea, and then again a lot of work to find something to then make a melody out of it. But we got somewhere. We definitely got somewhere. Let's head back to the artwork and just listen to this real quick. I'm going to just do the same. Yeah, imagining that in like a little bit of a playful string kind of idea. With a little, like a nice little solo violin with a little piano behind it might be all that you need there, and evoking kind of a Howl's Moving Castle situation, plus some Autumn Leaves, plus some If It Takes Forever, that tune. So that's all contributing to the right kind of atmosphere that we're then gonna get further and further into next time. I gotta eat some dinner. Thanks to everybody who hung out. Triangle, good to see you again. And yeah, I'll be back again another time. Either furthering this project or streaming a production session for Weird. That's again, that album's gonna release pretty soon here, a couple weeks if I get it done. So stop by again. Have a great night, everybody.